It's time for live video coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade. Sponsors for our broadcast include Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, Stan Morris Construction Company, Whitener Monument, Daylight Donuts, the City of Hayti, the Pemiscot County Sheriff's Department, Dr. David Boyd, the City of Caruthersville, Arcosa Marine, State Representative-elect Cameron Bunting Parker, the Pemiscot County Special School District, and the Hayti R2 School District. And now, the Caruthersville Christmas Parade.
And good afternoon and welcome everyone to our live coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade. I do apologize for our later than scheduled start. We were waiting for the parade to get a little bit closer before we got started with our live stream. And if you want to blame anyone, blame Chief of Police Tony Jones, as he's throwing out double handfuls of candy to everybody as he goes by and taking just a little bit longer than it normally would. But hey, we appreciate him doing that, so I'm not going to give him too much of a hard time. While we're waiting on our Chief of Police to get here, let's run through our sponsors real quick. Can't bring you coverage without them. Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, also Stan Morris Construction, as well as Whitener Monument, Daylight Donuts, and the City of Hayti, sponsoring both parades for us. All these sponsors sponsoring both the Hayti and Caruthersville parades for us. Pemiscot County Sheriff's Department, Dr. David Boyd, the City of Caruthersville, Arcosa Marine, State Representative-elect Cameron Bunting Parker, the Pemiscot County Special School District, and Hayti R2 Schools. So thanks to all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you live coverage of the Hayti and Caruthersville Christmas Parade. And I believe we have a little bit of an issue with our video feed. Let's see if we can get that taken care of for you. There it is. We did dismiss the Chief of Police going by there. There he goes. You can see all that candy he's throwing out. Going by. He's the first entrance in the parade. All right. Coming up next, one of the walking entries or the marching entries, that is the ROTC. We'll see if they stop here in front of the judges' table, perform as they usually do. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you live coverage of the Hayti and Caruthersville Christmas Parades today, as we're at Caruthersville this afternoon. And that was the ROTC group going by, singing to everyone. And next up is Mayor Sue Grantham, Mayor of Caruthersville. Following Mayor Sue Grantham, as you just heard, is the Caruthersville Fire Department. Caruthersville Fire Department Engine number 2, and that is Fire Chief Charlie Jones driving it for us today. And following the Caruthersville Fire Department, we have the DARE officer, also the school resource officer as well. First one there is one of the DARE officers for Pemiscot County Sheriff's Department. Then we have our school resource officer for Caruthersville Schools, followed by another Pemiscot County Sheriff DARE officer. Again, thanks to our sponsors making it possible to bring you the parades today: Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner with State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, and Stan Morris Construction. We'll be thanking some more of our sponsors as we continue on. Next up, seeing the antique cars entered into the parade today. Amazing how much technology has advanced. Some of these old cars were out. Still look great, still function just fine, so there you go. Next up, one of our bands in the parade. It is the Caruthersville High School Band, so we will turn it over to them, see if we can pick it up a little bit for you. And that was the Caruthersville High School Marching Band. And next up, Arcosa Marine in one of the side-by-side entries. Well, the entrance not on our list, so a late entry into this one maybe. Next up, one of the old trucks in. Had on my list as the Girl Scout troop. Not exactly sure. That may be our Girl Scout troop here. Troop 71804 just went by there. Next up, one of the float entries, FCC Behavioral Health. Mr. and Miss Potato Head walking by there. And next up, the Bank of Missouri with a truck entry. Say Merry Christmas and tossing out some candy for all the kiddos. And next up is one of the side-by-side entries, the absolute best Snoopy I've ever seen in my life. That just happens to be my oldest daughter out there. And Agape Worship Center with the side-by-side entry. And then the cutest little Woodstock there inside the side-by-side. That's my youngest daughter there. So a little bias on this one, but hey, I get to do that since I'm calling the thing. So there you go. They are following one. Or they are followed by another entry. We'll tell you about that here in just a moment. Once they get down the road a little ways, Bank of Missouri truck has stopped a little bit. Had to refuel the candy as they ran out. So holding up a little bit of the movement here. Yeah, let's thank some more of our sponsors, making it possible to bring you coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade this afternoon. Wider Monument Company, also Daylight Donuts, the City of Hayti, as well as the Pembroke County Sheriff's Department, and Dr. David M. Boyd. Appreciate all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you this coverage. We could get out here and endure the cold, so you don't have to. And it was mightily cold this morning at the Hayti Parade, I do have to say, as the wind was blowing pretty good. Not as bad here. We got a little bit of a wind break. Next up, the entry in the parade is the Pentecostal Power Church with a float entry. And followed by another marching band in the parade today. This is the South Pembroke High School Band. So we're going to listen to them for a little bit as they go by. And once again, that is the South Pembroke Marching Band. Do want to apologize. We are having some internet connectivity issues, so if we stutter a little bit or drop signal, just bear with us. We're going to try to get it back as best as we can. And as the South Pembina Marching Band heads on down the street, let's thank a few more of our sponsors, the City of Caruthersville, as well as Arcosa Marine, State Representative-elect Cameron Bunning Parker, also the Pembina County Special School District, and Hayti R2 Schools. As our next entry in the parade coming into view there, that is the First State Bank and Trust Company float. They have a Snoopy theme. In case you can't read that, it says on the side, it's not what's under the tree that matters, it's who's around it. That is a quote from Charlie Brown. So good one to live by this Christmas season. Coming up next is the Middle School Beta Club, ATV and trailer. There's the golf cart that goes with the Beta Club. A few more walkers as well. Have a walking group coming up behind them. Tell you about them when they get a little closer here. Now they're coming into view. See a couple of characters there, but this is the Apostolic Church Walkers group. Got a little elf there. Looks like a little dinosaur also as well. Oh, that kid's got an arm right there. Sign him up. Sign him up. Kid's having a blast throwing out candy for sure. Next up is the Caruthersville Wesleyan Church with a float entry into the parade. With the theme of It's a Wonderful Life. You are now in Bedford Falls, it says. Again, we do apologize for our intermittent internet issues, so again, please bear with us as connection may drop, may stutter a little bit, but just hang tight, see if we can get it back. Next up in the parade is the Arkansas Northeastern College bus, along with their mascot and some walkers out front. And following ANC is the R3 Junior High Band. Another musical band entry here. We will pause and let them play us a song here. And once again, that was the R3 Junior High Band. So they started making their way down the street. Again, thanks for tuning in wherever it may be, and we do apologize for our internet issues as it has been spotty all day with our coverage. So again, we apologize if it is stuttering a little bit or if it kind of jumps on you there. Just bear with us and be patient. It will hopefully come back up just fine. Next up is a Greer Tire and Service out of Hayti with a trailer. And immediately following them is the Hayti Fire Department. First up is the Hayti tanker truck. That's tanker number 1 out of Hayti. Following the tanker truck is Hayti truck number 1 for the fire department, and that is their ladder truck out of Hayti. Throwing some candy out as well. Slowly making its way down the street is another Hayti fire truck. This is Hayti pumper truck number 1, it looks like. And let's thank some more of our sponsors. We wait on our next entry: Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner with State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, and Stanmore's Construction. Again, we thank all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you the live stream. And again, we do apologize for our internet connectivity issues, so again, please bear with us. Next up with a float entry is Century Casinos out of Caruthersville. Just had a groundbreaking for their new facility and also a ribbon cutting for their new hotel. Following that, one of the ATV entries, Q3 Auto. Q3 Auto and Repair out of Hayti. Got the big wheels on that one going by. A lot of clearance there. You have to have a ladder to get up and get down, it looks like. And following Q3 Auto is a float entry. This is the First Baptist Church. We appreciate First Baptist Church for letting us set up on their front steps here by the judges' table. We thank them especially today for the wind block that the front of the church is providing us. So if you're listening part of that First Baptist Church, thank you very much. Be sure to thank them for letting us set up here. Following First Baptist Church is another marching band in the parade today. It is the Delta C7 High School Marching Band. And we're going to let them play us a song as we pause momentarily. And again, that was a Delta C7 High School Marching Band. So make their way down the street. Let's thank a few more sponsors. Widener Monument, Daylight Donuts, the City of Hayti, also the Pimsky County Sheriff's Department, and Dr. David Boyd. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you coverage of the Christmas Parade this afternoon here in Caruthersville. Next up, we have a Walker's and a car entry. This is Help on Hand. They have an old Dodge pickup truck in the parade. They have some walkers out front. And as we wait on our next entry, thanks to more of our sponsors. How about that? The City of Caruthersville, Arcosa Marine, the State Representative-elect Cameron Bunning Parker, Pimsky County Special School District, and the Hayti R2 School District. Again, if you see any of those sponsors we talked about, and you're going to hear them again before we get out of here, thank them for sponsoring this so that we can bring you the live video coverage of the Christmas parade, especially on a cold day like today. So can't get out and come to it, you can at least see it, take part in the festivities wherever you may be. And next up is a float entry, slowly making its way into view. And this is Jesus Name Tabernacle with the float entry in today's parade. Decked out like a radio flyer wagon. Our next entry slowly making its way down the street. This is a says float truck with pontoon on my list here, but this is Pam Peeler. Actually, I see Anna Peeler there on the side as well. Mickey and Minnie in the pontoon. Everybody all smiles, having a good old time. Next up, instead of some motorcycles, we got some side-by-sides coming through. UTVs, off-road vehicles. Again, we do apologize for our internet connection issues, so please just bear with us. Our signal's dropping intermittently here. Coming up next, the big red tow truck from Sullivan's leading the way. They have 5 trucks in total in the parade here, starting with the big boy there. Again, as Sullivan's making their way down the street with 5 of their trucks from their facility, we'll run through our full sponsor list here as we are nearing the end of our parade. Thanks to Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner with State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, Stan Moore's Construction, Widener Monument, Daylight Donuts, the City of Caruthersville, also the Pembina County Sheriff's Department, Dr. David Boyd, the City of Caruthersville, Arcosa Marine, State Representative-elect Cameron Bunning Parker, Pembina County Special School District, and Hayti R2 School District for making it possible to bring you coverage of the Caruthersville Parade this afternoon. And also, they supported us and made it possible to bring you coverage of the Hayti Christmas Parade this morning. So thank you all those sponsors for making it possible to bring you 2 parades today. We'll be able to bring you the live stream without their support, without their help. And last but certainly not least, coming up at the end of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade here is old Santa Claus himself, coming in an old fire truck as he makes his way down through here. Old Caruthersville Fire Engine number 1, making its way down the street right in front of us here. So Merry Christmas from Santa Claus and everybody here in the Caruthersville Christmas Parade. So again, we want to thank all of our sponsors making it possible to bring you coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade this afternoon, as we were happy to do it, so you don't have to get out in the elements to come see it if you didn't want to, and still be able to enjoy the parade and get in that Christmas spirit. So thanks to Ryan McDaniel running the camera for us today. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors. And until next time, Paul Glass for KCRV. Everybody have a safe afternoon and a Merry Christmas.
It's time for live video coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade. You have been watching live coverage of the Caruthersville Christmas Parade. Sponsors for our broadcast include Moss Bail Bonds, Carmack Shell and Convenience Store, Courtney Gardner State Farm Insurance, Prescription Drug Store, Stan Morris Construction Company, Whitener Monument, Daylight Donuts, the City of Haytide, the Pemiscot County Sheriff's Department, Dr. David Boyd, the City of Caruthersville, Arcosa Marine, State Representative-elect Cameron Bunting Parker, the Pemiscot County Special School District, and the Hayti R2 School District. This has been a production of Pollock Broadcasting Company and KCRV Radio.